Hello everyone, this is Mazzle Dazzle, and I'm just looking to make a video to kind of show off how you can use voice macros and the program Voice Attack to enrich your gaming experience. So I have taken the general commands you can give to your troops and bound them to voice commands. So for instance, if I say, "Everyone, follow me," I will follow you. It tells everyone to follow me and then plays a voice clip of me saying, "Follow me." Now, I really wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, so they made a very poor move there. Everyone, hold this position. I'll wait here. It didn't matter, thankfully, because I have so many people, but it was I should have told them to group up and, stand closer to one another. Oh, I'm gonna get hit in the back probably by a spear dude. Didn't happen, thankfully. I can say, "Everyone, charge. Everyone, charge." Charging. Archers, stand your ground. Archers, stand ground. Standing ground. So I could command my units just by making these commands, and it basically will jam these keyboards like F1, the number 1, the number 2, the number 3. You can actually do it, I mean, if you really want to, you could do it for all the 10 numbers that you have, so that you could just, have whatever you want to say. So you could say one charge or something like that. But I like kind of having it that way. If I want to customize it later, I can do that. So I have some prisoner management. I'm just going to take some of these units. Force archers are pretty much the best part of the Gurgit, so that's really great to get them. I can get some lancers here, so I'll put them up top. I actually hope they die because they're pretty expensive. Same thing with this guy. I think I'm going to throw him up top too. Probably not the greatest thing to do. I'll remove some of these recruits. I don't really need them. And get some more horsemen. I have no real desire to use these weapons, but I might be able to give them to someone else. And it may be beneficial to them. If this is better than what I have. Anyway, I'll just give another show real quick. Some of the commands I can do. So, everyone, follow me. Everyone, follow me. I will follow you. Everyone, hold this position. Cavalry,
I'll wait here.
Follow me. I will follow you. Infantry, advance 10 paces. Advancing. Cavalry, charge. Charging. Infantry, charge. Charging. Everyone, use blunt weapons. Everyone, use blunt weapons. That's the command. Everyone, use only blunt weapons. We'll knock them out, my lord. So this region's pretty good for just getting the horses and everything like that, because they allow you to travel faster on the map. Pretty much every 2 rows you want another horse. So it does help there. Anyway, that's not the point of this video. I just wanted to show off that I can give pretty much any command and have it work. So now that that is done, let me bring up the voice software, and you can see all of the commands that I said that actually were recognized. I did them exactly as they are in game, so some of them aren't exactly the best. I could probably customize them and make them a little bit better. So I'll show you how you can do that and how you could make sophisticated macros to kind of just give you a lot of flexibility. So the first thing I did when I made these macros was I set up a prefix system. Or, this software has prefix and suffixes. And what I had set up was, I didn't click edit. What I set up was, I set this up as a prefix. This means that you will combine a prefix and a suffix command. And when you execute them together, both will execute, but neither will execute on their own. So I want to make sure that every time I address a unit, I always am doing it through this command, so I'm always commanding the right unit. And all these commands do is they press the corresponding key in the game, and then they release the key. And you can see how that looks right here. It just says press and hold and release. That's it. There's nothing special there. I have it with infantry. You train the program with your voice chat, and that's how it works. Now, the other thing that you can do is you can, have suffixes on the end of it. So what I did there was I have it press the key and hold it. It holds the key for 0.130 of a second, and that in that way it registers in the game. Sorry, the way the game handles it, you can't just press and release it extremely rapidly. You have to have it actually wait for you to do it. Now, the other thing is I basically saved files on my computer. I recorded them, which made it so every time I say these things, it has responses from myself that will, confirm the command was entered. So when I say use all weapons at will, or what is it? Use weapons at will. Infantry, use weapons at will. We'll kill them, my lord. Because in that game, if you're not using blunt weapons, you're pretty much using lethal weapons. So that's just what was relevant in that situation. Anyway, so let's just get to the basic command structure. So you can do some things here that I found interesting. The basics of it are that you can have something that goes infantry, and then you put a colon, or a semicolon, sorry, infantry, cavalry, archers, and that's it. Actually, I could even have like that, and then have something along the lines of the command, and then like make the. Sorry, I could put a semicolon at the end, and then it's optional, and then I could have. This is what I would do basically if I was going to do it later. Hold your fire. So another way to do the same thing I did would be to do this. And this basically means I can use hold your fire. I can use infantry hold your fire, cavalry hold your fire, and then I could set up a command. I mean, I have to look into the details on how to actually do that right now, but it certainly is possible, and I can just prove it in a second. If I say, let me just apply this. If I say hold your fire, hold your fire, it recognizes it, whereas it wouldn't recognize it otherwise. And if I say infantry, hold your fire, infantry, hold your fire, it recognizes that because it's up here. And the way this program handles it is it does it by priority order, so whatever's higher in the list is what takes priority. Anyway, I just basically set up everything in the game with the commands. Now, one thing to mention is that if you are doing commands, multiple commands with the same key, you do need to add in a pause, or else it won't register that it's being pressed and released, and then pressed and then released. It'll just think you're continuously pressing it. So, like, because it's just registering key presses. That's all the game's doing. This thing is just sending key presses based on what you say. Now, the big thing about this is that it does it quickly. It interprets it. You can add all kinds of custom things on it. It's just really, really cool. And I have a few set up, like some for VR. Like, for instance, there's this game, Zomday. I have it set up so if you say main menu or quit, it'll press the escape key, which if you're in a match will take you back to the main menu. And if you are outside the match, it'll just quit the game. Now, for some reason, a lot of the games that in VR don't have those buttons that you can actually navigate to while within the game. So it really does speed things up. And there's also a voice chat in that game, which I'm sure a lot of people don't know. And it's like you have to, because it's not documented anywhere, and you have to press the T key in order to unlock it. And so all you just do is say enable or disable voice chat, and then it does it. Now, the interesting thing about it is that you can also set up variables so that, like, Boolean variables, where it'll set the true if you enabled it. So let's say I say enable voice chat, and it turns on voice chat. And then if I say enable voice chat again, I can have it so it checks and says, you already have voice chat enabled, there's nothing to do here, basically. Or you can, say you can disable it and have it actually process that. If you don't need it to send extra keys, in most cases, it's not going to matter. But for certain things, where it matters, you can really create customizable responses. Like if there's you can make voice responses for yourself, and have it tell you. Well, actually, there's actually something else you could do too, and I'll show this in a second. So, if I go in here and I go to other, I can, text this, or I don't want to do that, but I can play text to speech. So I can say something in text to speech, and I could say, you are boring everyone. And, you can choose the default voice you want to send it in. I don't really care. So I can make it so I say, hi, computer. And then it'll respond with that. And you'll see that in a second. Hi, computer.
You are boring everyone.
You could just... you could basically make your own chat bot. But let's say you want to have, let's say you want to make a dictionary in a game. You can kind of make your own tree. I think people have done that with Elite Dangerous, but you can make your own response tree. So I could just say, I could make it so when I said infantry, it would say like, "Hello, what's going on?" Like, you know what I mean? I don't have to have it, so I could just have it. I could create customized functions to make it more immersive, depending on what you want. Now, if all you're doing is just for functionality, you can have something like I did for the game Helldivers. That game has complex function keys, and the way I handle it was I basically say, a command. So, for instance, one of the commands is to drop down a turret. So I just say turret. It presses the keys required to drop a turret, and then that's it. The turret's dropped. Now, if I put the key for, if I say resupply, it'll call resupply, so I get more ammo. It's really helpful in the fact that you can basically skip a lot of the difficulty of the game with, because a lot of it's the timing. The other thing is this one. I added a control situation, which is a loop. I said repeat it 20 times, and that is I just say get up. Now, in that game, when you fall down, when you get knocked down because you died, basically, you can jam in the key in order to get back off the ground. Well, why would I damage my controller or waste my time struggling to do that when I can make the computer do it much faster than I could ever humanly do it, and do it that way? And that's kind of what I did. So, anyway, that's really all there is to it. It's very simple. You can just make some customized commands, and then, it really helps make your gaming more immersive. And I hope you found that enjoyable, as I personally love it. Anyway, with that being said, have a good day.